Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. If you came here to catch the December 2nd City Council meeting, you're in the right place. However, we're going to start off, before we start our City Council meeting, we're going to have a public hearing on an ordinance that was read into the record at a previous council meeting. This is going to be a public hearing on Ordinance 1168. Ordinance 1168 is concerning amending Chapter 205 zoning related to group housing. This is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre, Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, and Sections 33 and 34 of the Havre, Grace City Charter to amend Chapter 205 zoning related to group housing. So at this time, I will ask the public, if there's anybody here to comment on this public hearing, please raise your hand and be recognized. Sir.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and senior staff. Just for a point of clarification, there is a related action that I believe needs to be taken to give the full effect to this ordinance relating to revising.
Before you continue, you can just have your name for the record.
I'm sorry,
That's
Chip
right.
Place, 301 Cigar Loop.
All right, thank you, sir. Please continue.
Sure. The community residential facility definition needs to be redefined. Is that correct?
We've taken the Planning Commission recommendations,
Right.
and they were added. I don't know if they're added to the packet or they were provided, but we did provide that information from that hearing
Okay.
for the motion you made, and
Right.
with the new community residential definition.
Okay, so is that part of the public hearing tonight, or will that have to be a separate legislative action?
I think it'd be a separate legislative action. They're going to have to do an amendment on the dais at second reading.
Okay, all right, just want to make sure that didn't get lost.
No
All
worries.
right, thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Place. Anyone else here this evening to speak on Ordinance 1168? Any comments from the members of the council? Okay, without any further comments, I will now close the public hearing on Ordinance 1168. The time is 7:03. Okay, we'll start the council meeting. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the December 2nd, 2024 meeting at Havre Grace Mayor and City Council. The time is now 7:04 p.m. I'll call the roll. Council President.
Here.
Councilmember Robertson.
Here.
Councilmember Jones.
Here.
Councilmember Boyer.
Here.
Councilmember Shenagus.
Here.
Councilmember Boger.
Here.
All council members are present and accounted for. Can I have everybody please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and opening prayer? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If I could ask everyone to kindly remain standing, as it's always a pleasure to welcome Reverend Gene Proud to the Proud Evangelistic Association. Sir, last time you were here, we asked you to pray for rain, and we thank you. Please tell
And it rained.
It did, so thank you very much for, you're a connected man, as we say.
And that was the first thing I wanted to do, was to thank him for the rain that we got, because that is a blessing that we need to be thankful for, all of the blessings that we get. And one of the blessings we have as people is you, the council, and the wisdom and knowledge that he endows you with. And we want to thank him for that. And we want to continue to have that blessing of your wisdom and knowledge imparted to this council, to the mayor, and to all of the senior staff, so that all of our lives will be peaceable and productive. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Reverend Proud, thank you, sir. We're going to go to item 5, approval of the minutes, city council meeting minutes of November 18, 2024. Council, to have a motion to approve?
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Jones, seconded by Councilmember Shenegis. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to approve the city council meeting minutes of November 18th, 2024 are approved 6-0 in the affirmative. Item B, city council work session meeting minutes, city council work session minutes, November 19th, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
A motion by Councilmember Boker, seconded by the council president. Questions or comments?
I will not be voting tonight as I was not in attendance.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. City council work session minutes of November 19th, 2024 are approved 5-0 in the affirmative. We're going to go to comments from citizens, which is item number 6. This is the part of tonight's agenda. If you have any comments that you wish to announce to council regarding the agenda, now's the time to do so. If you have any comments regarding any other matter of city business, now's the time to do so as well. So normally what I do is if anyone pre-filled out a form, I will call on those citizens first. And when I'm done the forms, I will call on the audience at large. Okay, so we're going to do the forms first. I'd like to call forward Mr. Peter Ianello.
Good evening. Thanks for receiving me, Honorable Mayor and Council. Please let me take a quick moment to open up my iPad. Dear City Council members, first of all, thank you for facilitating the work session on November 16th. Tonight is a follow-up. We were made aware of that today. As we are now 4 years post-approval and in light of a request by one single concept plan signatory for the city to consider an amendment, we thought it might be helpful to present a drawing, and I apologize, sometimes there's an easel here, so I'll pick that up in a second. Additionally, should the city be so inclined to proceed with a future resolution to amend the single concept plan, we would request to have input on that because there are some items that we would like included in that future resolution if the city is so inclined to proceed. We look forward to your feedback and assure you of our commitment to aligning with the city's development goals. So please excuse me because I'll have to show you in this manner. So this is a copy of the single concept plan that was approved November of, I think it was November 2nd of 2020. And I just want to show the audience. And what I thought would be helpful is in the meeting minutes that were presented today, there was a drawing of the proposed development in relocation of the park. And I think because that drawing includes a road network, there's a lot of detail on there that I think can obfuscate the request of the party asking for another resolution. So what I wanted to do is provide some clarity as what I understand their request is. So all this drawing does is it shows where the requested new location is, as I understand it. So it moved the park from the original location to the proposed location across from Monarchus Drive. And then what I did in the drawing was I changed the use that, from the original park, and as I understand, the development proposal wants to turn that into residential. So just keeping it really simple, again, here we are 4 years later, there's changes that the city is contemplating along with the adjacent landowners. So to provide some clarity, I just wanted to provide that. Now, one concern that we expressed was connectivity from the proposed new development to our upper portion, our parcel. The proposed drawing, let me do this. Sorry about that. So the proposed drawing that's in the meeting minutes shows a road stub. And that stub actually goes into a very steep hill. So the thought being here is keeping it simple. If as the city considers the proposed single resolution to amend the single concept plan to relocate the park, one request that we have is to have a drawing that actually only reflects what the request is. Because if it shows a road network and our stub road is going to a hill, and that road is what's supposed to provide connectivity to our parcels, it doesn't work, right? It doesn't make sense. So, again, so the idea here was to do what we could to keep this simple. The other thing that we are requesting is that we have a conditional use that was approved. Part of the conditional use so it's not a concept plan, as the meeting minutes, the meeting minutes make reference to a concept plan for the project that we have. We would like we would like a reflection in a proposed new resolution that actually states what the approved conditional use is. And the other item that we like to make part of the record as well is that the current subdivision that is being constructed, Sign Hill Estates, on the land plat on page 217-31 is actually the recordation of the 50-foot public road, which is relevant because, again, that brings us up to the current date. So, in summary, rather than recite to you the notes that we would be requesting, I want to be very respectful of everybody's time. The notes primarily reflect the current state of affairs as it relates to our property and the type of access that we need to public road and utilities and infrastructure. So in closing, we would like to make that request, that we have the ability to have my engineers and attorneys submit what we would like included on a future drawing as far as the notes. And the second request is that as you consider a resolution to the single concept plan, if the city is so inclined to move the location of the park, that we would just ask at this stage to only reflect where the location of the park, the proposal where it's going, as opposed to all of what's in the meeting minutes right now is a complete subdivision plan. It removes an interconnector road. It shows locations of houses and different things, but it gets a lot more complicated. If again, the only thing that's on the table right now for consideration is the relocation of the park. So with that, I say thank you very much, and I will, with your permission, I'll send an electronic copy of this to enter into the record, as opposed to leaving this with you, unless you'd like a copy of this with you. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Einell. I have one other pre-filled out form, and goes to Mr. Jonathan Green. Good evening, Mr. Green, and welcome.
Good evening, Jonathan Green, 2000 C Level Road, Havre Grace. This is my office. Mayor and City Council, first I'd like to express my sincere gratitude for your thoughtful deliberation and your willingness to visit the property. Your commitment to understanding the matter firsthand is truly appreciated. I wanted to also thank April for her wise counsel and for her careful consideration of the interests of all the stakeholders involved. Additionally, we look forward to continued collaboration with city staff, Chris and Adam, EJ, Tim, and as we move forward with the project. Finally, I respectfully ask Casey, Tammy, Jim, Vicky, Jason, and Johnny to please vote in favor of this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Okay, that is the only pre-filled out forms I have. I was informed that there was a few people that are in the audience this evening to speak about on Mount Zion behalf, which was ordinance 1168 that we had a public hearing on. Was there anybody here that wanted to speak on that? I just didn't know if you got confused with the public hearing or not, if you came here to speak. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to speak. If you came to speak on it, you can still speak on it under public comment. So the floor is yours, sir, if you just give us your name.
Pastor J.C. Williams of the Mount Zion Baptist Church, to Mr. Mayor, and to all of the county council.
Welcome.
We are really extremely grateful for your consideration of this resolution, and it will make a tremendous impact in our ministry, but also we are praying that it will make a tremendous impact in this community. So I didn't come necessarily to say anything, but I really am just grateful for your consideration. We really appreciate it tremendously. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir. And with that, we are still on comments from citizens. So again, if you have a comment on an agenda item or any other matter of city business, please raise your hand and be recognized. Yes, sir.
Good evening again, everyone. Chip Place 301 Cigar Loop. I want to touch on three things tonight, including the single concept plan. But one, quickly, I wanted to commend council members Boker and Jones from the last meeting on their comments regarding bus shelters. I think it's very important to have safe bus shelters for people, and especially Councilmember Jones, I appreciated your comments about the dignity of people who don't have cars that rely on buses and having shelter from the sun and the rain. Also, in last council meeting, there was an item regarding the Public Works Director report on sewer. I don't think that was heard during the meeting. I'm not sure what that was about. But I think it would be helpful, especially residents of Bully Rock, to at some point have an update on the Native Dancer pump station situation. Because there's not only existing residents there, there's new residences being built in Bully Rock, And I understand the Scion Hill, all the development up there will also flow through that Native Dancer pump station. So at some point, it'd be very helpful to understand the status of that and what further capital improvements might be required to make that work for everyone. And then quickly regarding the single concept plan, I provided you all with summary comments after the workshop the other night, and I'll just repeat, get to the bottom line that this is not a good deal for the city. The proposed park location is in environmentally sensitive areas. This is the kind of land that's supposed to be protected and supposed to be preserved both under our city ordinance and under state law. It's not often protected as well as it could be in the city. I think we need to do better. In fact, the state, in their comments regarding the comprehensive plan that the Planning Commission has drafted, was fairly pointed that Havre de Grace has not done enough to preserve its forest resources, and this is an important time to do that. So with that land to be preserved, the city gets nothing by turning that making that the parkland that was otherwise designated within the concept plan. The 5-acre parcel is in the center of the development of some 500 homes. It would be a great benefit to those people, and it could be improved as a true tidings park, as a village green, maybe playgrounds at some point. And that occurred, that's the baseline, what the city's entitled to. And the protection of environmental resources is something that also is required. It's not one or the other. Both, you should expect both, and you should work for both. And just the further amendments that are in this resolution regarding the street access, that stuff has to be thought through very carefully. I know Mount Felix has proposed using that 50-foot right-of-way out to the Scion Hill subdivision road, but a 50-foot right-of-way, we raised this at Planning Commission previously. With the level of development in there, a 60-foot right-of-way is probably what's required under the highway, the county highway regulations. So I wouldn't just, pass that off without further careful consideration. And similarly, providing another access out through the western end of the Mount Felix property to whatever the stub road is. The access through the rest of Mount Felix through the mansion area is very limited. I don't think you could get a 50-foot or a 60-foot right-of-way out that way. So it means you have to go through the old plan, the old concept plan to a collector road C somehow. It could even work, Lord forbid, if we lose the 5 acres in the middle of the site, the way the current sketch plan for Mount Felix is, there's this cul-de-sac road, that would probably be a better place to access. But all this requires more detailed level of planning. I recommend you not proceed with these proposed changes to the concept plan. The proper way to review this is through a proper subdivision application where we have the detailed drawings, we have the topo, we see the whole project in detail, and then we take it from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Police. We're still under comments from citizens. Who else would like to address the council? Any comments from the council? Councilmember Jones?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I did want to say that I know that there are some residents here who did not join in during the public hearing for the ordinance 1168. I want to make sure that residents who are interested in this know what it's about. And in particular, it's about the zoning. This 1168 was about the zoning code to allow transitional housing for veterans and first responders. And that's what we've been talking about for the last several meetings, having this building used for. So I think it's really important, if that is of interest to you, that you have a moment to talk about it now, or that you make sure that you read it, talk to anyone on the council, Councilmember Robertson, so that you're aware what the plan is. But if you have not been coming to the meetings, you should understand, what that purpose is, so that you can speak on it. And we just had our public hearing, so you're welcome to, if we keep it open, say something, keep the public comments open, or just make sure that you're paying attention, to what's happening there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Jones. Any other further comments from council members?
I have a comment. I don't know, can I make a public comment?
We're still under comments from citizens, so if you wish to speak, come on up and give us your name.
Hi, my name, I'm gonna keep my hat on. I wasn't planning to come here. I don't know if this is the right time to say this. I just randomly stopped in because my neighbor came in, who told me to stop by. I live on Alliance and Stoke Street, and we walk to school every day. It's gotten to a group about 20 of us that walk to school, and there is no stop sign on Stokes. And the cars zoom past so bad, like just so fast, and the sidewalk goes from the right to the left, so we have to do through the hypotenuse cross. So, and we were just talking today, I was talking today with some other moms about it, and since I'm here, I figured I'd bring it up. So, I don't know what the process is for that.
Well, you just did the process. And,
Great.
And would you mind giving us your name for the record?
I'm sorry, Jennifer Joseph.
Jennifer Joseph, oh, thank you very much. And I think Councilmember Boyer has a question.
So what is the cross on Stokes? Stokes and what?
Alliance?
Stokes and Alliance?
Right at the
Okay.
colored school.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm very familiar with that diagonal walk there. so-
Yeah, and it's just a little dangerous, and we have scooters and everything, so, but yes. And I did come because of the Baptist Church information, so if I want to get more information about that, should I look at past meeting minutes? Is that the best way?
Yeah, Jen, you can reach out to me. We can talk
Okay.
offline.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments? Okay, we'll move on with the council agenda. Item 7, appointments. This evening, we have no appointments. Item 8, recognitions. This evening, I have no recognitions. Item 9, proclamations. We have nothing to proclaim. Item 10, presentations. We have nothing to present. Item 11, resolutions. We have nothing to resolve. See how this works?
This one, right? Oh, I'm looking forward to the next
This
one.
is called a December council agenda. I'm kidding. Page 2. Oh, ordinances. Okay, we got some laws here. Okay, item 12, ordinances. We do have 2 ordinances on this evening's agenda. One's a second reading, and the second one is a first reading. And item A is ordinance 1170, second reading. Councilmember Shenegis.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I move to introduce ordinance number 1170 concerning amending Chapter 205 zoning related to veterinarian clinics in the second reading.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Shenegis, and it's seconded by the Council President. This is a motion to introduce ordinance 1170 on second reading. Questions or comments on this introduction of the ordinance? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce ordinance 1170 carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Ordinance 1170 is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, and Sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter to amend Chapter 205 zoning. Council, do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 1170 on second reading?
So moved.
Second?
I have a motion by Councilmember Boker and it's seconded by Councilmember Shenegis. Questions or comments? Councilmember Shenegis?
This amendment would include a veterinarian clinic would be described as a facility staffed by at least one veterinarian duly licensed by the state of Maryland for the medical treatment and care of animals. The boarding of animals is not permitted unless it is associated with medical procedures performed by a veterinarian. The vet would also include conditional uses as a veterinarian clinic, provided that proper waste disposal practices must be in place, including protocols for medical waste to ensure compliance with health regulations and maintain sanitary conditions. The veterinarian operations must not permit noise disturbances that create a nuisance and must demonstrate soundproofing measures as may be necessary for examination and treatment areas. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Shenegis. Any other questions or comments? Okay, we're going to do a roll call vote on ordinance 1170, second reading. Councilmember Boker,
Yes.
Council President,
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson,
Yes.
Councilmember Jones,
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer,
Yes.
Councilmember Shenegis.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Ordinance 1170-1170 is adopted on second reading. Thank you very much, Council. And we're going to go to item B, ordinance concerning a budget amendment. I hand that off to the Chair of the Finance Committee, Councilmember Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, fellow council members, I move to introduce Budget Amendment 2025-04 for first reading.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Robertson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Boker. This is an ordinance concerning a budget amendment, 2025-04. Questions or comments on the introduction of the ordinance? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to approve the introduction of this budget amendment ordinance carries 6-0 in the affirmative. This budget amendment ordinance 2025-04 will be known as ordinance 1171. An ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace by the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, and sections 37 of the Havre de Grace City Charter for the purpose of amending the city budget for fiscal year 2025 to address the reallocations of funds for the city of Havre de Grace for fiscal year 2025. Council, do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 1171 on first reading?
So moved. Second.
A motion by Councilmember Robertson, second by Councilmember Boker. Questions or comments? Councilmember Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just for the edification of the viewing audience at home, this is for unintended costs or unforeseen costs to complete the Weber Street water line replacement project. This will be utilizing some CDBG funds as well as some funds that were intended for the water transmission line for Route 40 and the generator replacement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Robertson. Any other questions or comments? Okay, Council, we're going to do a roll call vote on ordinance 1171, first reading. Councilmember Shenegis.
Yes.
Councilmember Boker.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
By a 6-0 roll call vote in the affirmative, ordinance 1171 is adopted on first reading. Council President, would you like to have the public hearing on December 16th?
16th is great.
Okay. Public hearing at the next council meeting, December 16th, preceding the opening of the council meeting. So basically, 7 o'clock. We'll have the public hearing on ordinance 1171. Okay, we're done with ordinances, and we're going to go to old business, and we have a tabled calendar resolution 2024-18 concerning an amendment to the single concept plan. This is tabled. Is there anyone on council who wishes to make a motion to untable it?
Mayor and council, I move to untable calendar resolution 2024-18 concerning an amendment to the single concept plan.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Shenagis, seconded by the council president. This is a motion to untable Counter Resolution 2024-18. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
Nay.
By a voice call of 5-1, the motion to untable carries. Do I have a motion to introduce Counter Resolution 2024-18? Now that's been untabled. Yes.
Mayor and council, I move to introduce calendar resolution 2014-18 concerning an amendment to the single concept plan.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Shenagis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Booker. This is a motion to introduce the calendar resolution 2024-18. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion introduced carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Counter Resolution 2024-18 concerning an amendment to the single concept plan. A resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland pursuant to the Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated code of Maryland, and City Charter sections 33 and 34 to amend the single concept plan adopted on November 16, 2020 by Resolution 2020-16 pursuant to Annexation Resolution 277 as amended. Council, I have a motion to adopt Counter Resolution 2024-18.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by the Council President, seconded by Councilmember Booker. Questions or comments before the roll call vote? Council President?
I can ask each of the council members, please refer to your packet. I have several amendments from the city attorney. So I move to amend the resolution with the following amendments. Line 102, after the words "as amended," add "subject to certain conditions set forth below." Lines 104 to 105, delete the words "the First Amendment to modified concept plan" and add the following. Relocation of the 5-acre park is a material change to the modified concept plan requiring City Council approval for the amendment to be modified to the modified concept plan showing the new park location. It is further resolved that the City Council approves the First Amendment to the modified concept plan and incorporates by reference Exhibit B, showing the park relocation proposed by the Green property owners, developers, on the following conditions, so that relocation of the 5-acre park remains consistent with the modified concept plan. Number one, the owner developers of the Green property shall provide 6 to 10 rustic parking spots in the 5-acre park entrance accessible to the Bully Rock Parkway, since relocation of the park does not permit access from the side street parking as originally envisioned in the centrally located park under the modified concept plan, and parking along Bully Rock Parkway is deemed a public safety concern. 2, the owners, developers of the Green property shall provide a footpath accessible from the interior road of the Legacies along Bully Rock Parkway to the park, which may be incorporated into the Lower Susquehanna Heritage Greenway Trail or may be maintained as a standalone footpath. 3, at the Green owner developer's expense, a pedestrian crosswalk shall be marked from Monarcos Drive to the park entrance on Bully Rock Parkway. Number 4, since the Mount Felix property would lose direct access to the park, the Green property owners developers shall grant a permanent road and utility easement at a width compliant with the Havre County Road Code from where Road D connects to the Mount Felix property to the stub road being constructed in the Legacies at the northern part of the subdivision plan as shown on Exhibit C. The easement shall be a condition of subdivision plan approval for the Legacies project and must be recorded in the land records of Havre County. Customary and reasonable costs associated with the preparation and recording of such easements shall be borne by the owner-developer of the Mount Felix Ionella property, unless such owner declines to pay for such easement preparation and recordation, in which case easement
will be subject to future negotiations among the parties, and this provision will be of no force and effect. Number 5, the modified concept plan is further amended to show a 50-foot wide road access point on the southeastern side of the Mount Felix Ianello property, previous identified as a 50-foot utility and access easement, to reflect that deeded access from the which has been granted, I'm sorry, I'm just going on and on, which has been granted to Mount Felix Ianello property owners and has been proposed as a road entrance to the development in the preliminary concept plan for that subdivision. Number 6, all other terms and conditions of the annexation resolution 277 as amended and the modified concept plan remain in full force and effect. I do need to add on line 42 where it says the modified concept plan is further amended to show a 50- wide. It should be a 50-foot wide easement, but that is my my motion, Mr. Mayor, to amend the resolution.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by the council president, second by Councilman Robertson for the amendment that council president just read. Questions or comments? Councilman Robertson?
CP, did you get a chance to go over these modifications with the Ianello and Green parties?
I know that we have spoken with the attorney. We did have some concerns with the, for Mr. Ianello, which were raised today. And actually, I do have a clarification that from the city attorney.
So two points actually that came up in some of the comments, and I'll start with the one by Mr. Chip Place about the reference to the green project in Exhibit B was only intended to show the move of the park from where it was to where it's proposed. Nothing else of that plan was intended to be adopted in this single concept plan. So I just wanted to make that clarification on the record. That subdivision plan is going to be subject to Planning Commission approval according to our subdivision regulations. So Exhibit B is only showing, the only purpose of Exhibit B is to show the change in the park. The second issue raised by Mr. Ianello was a point raised by Mr. Ianello that is might be confusing or concerning regarding the modification to the single concept plan, and that is in reference to the stub road. He indicated that the topography might be such that it makes a road, continuation of a road there impossible. I would again, for the record, state that any preliminary subdivision plan that goes to Planning Commission approval is going to need to take into account the exact location of the roads, whether some lots need to be removed to show accessibility. So if you wanted to add that the stub road is not fixed at the location shown on Exhibit C, and then you want to just add that as direction to the Planning Commission that it should show connectivity from a road connecting, an easement connecting to the Ianello property, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want precise language?
Yeah, I guess we'll need precise language for that, but I don't think that we need it as right now, but we can ask the planning director to move on the, you said you want planning for the road connectivity?
No, I think that would be through the Planning Commission process. So this is really just looking at the single concept plan, which is a broader picture. Mm-hmm. And then from that, the Planning Commission then reviews each subdivision, as it did with the first part.
Okay,
So one is one clarification that I would make on exhibit, let's see.
See?
Item number what?
I'm looking at it now.
Item number 5?
No, it would be item number 4 for the road. Mm-hmm. I would say, might need to take a short recess to develop the language there, but I would put in part of the submission on Exhibit C, the precise location, right after it says Exhibit C, the precise location of the stub road would be subject to Planning Commission approval.
Okay.
That would be after exhibits on number 4. Yeah, Planning Commission approval
Need a recess?
pursuant to the city's subdivision regulation.
The precise location of the sub-road would be
Subject to Planning Commission approval in accordance with the city's subdivision regulations.
So can I add that to my amendment, or I need to withdraw my amendment and then, so I'm not reading it again,
regulations.
Well, I'll accept,
That's an amendment.
I'll accept my second
as a
to
friendly
include
amendment?
that additional, as a friendly.
So go ahead and
Restated?
say what you're going to say, and then Councilman Robertson will back that up.
So I'm going to accept that as a friendly amendment to my motion to amend, and
I'll send it as a.
I accept that as my second, yeah.
All the council on board, do you understand what Ms. Ishak was talking about?
yes.
Everything all right, Ms. Ishak? All right.
And I don't know if we needed additional language to clarify my first part, because I think that it still has to go through Planning Commission.
You'd still need site plan approval.
Actually, it's subdivision plan specifically.
subdivision,
Yep,
I'm sorry.
Correct. And this process is only for the single concept plan. It does not interfere with the
Pay
preliminary.
no attention to the houses that are pictured.
Correct. It's really for the location of the parks.
Roger. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ishak. Council President, wait a minute. No, I think it was Councilman Robertson had the question, right?
Yes, sir, I'm finished.
Finished. Any other comments?
Thank you.
Any other comments from council members? We're voting on Council President's amendment that was seconded by Councilman Robertson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Council President's amendment carries 6-0 in the affirmative. We're back under the motion to adopt Counter Resolution 2024-18. We had a motion by the Council President, second by Councilmember Booker. Any other further questions and comments on this resolution? Council, we're going to do a roll call vote on this resolution. Again, this is Counter Resolution 2024-18 concerning an amendment to the single concept plan. Councilmember Booker.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Schneges.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Counter Resolution 2024-18 concerning an amendment to the single concept plans adopted. We're going to go to item 14, new business. We have two special events, and I'm going to hand off to Dr. Chris Ritchie, Director of Administration.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. For your consideration, we have the summer concerts in the park to be held on June 6th, 13th, 20th, 27th, and July 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th next year. And they run from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. at Tidings Park. And the second event is the Relay for Life of Harford County to be held September 13th of next year from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Concord Point Park. Thank you.
Council, I have Dr. Ritchie just laid down two events, the summer concerts in the park and Relay for Life. Consent calendar suitable, Council President?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by the Council President, and we have it seconded by Councilmember Jones. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion approved. The special events are approved, 6-0 in the affirmative. Now we're going to go to Director's Reports, and we're going to go right back to Dr. Ritchie, Director of Administration.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, citizens. So, first part of my comments, I do want to thank a few people here at the city. So, number one, I'd like to give a shout out to EJ, your team. So the DPW team have been doing a lot of hard work these last few weeks. Not only have they been working to decorate the city for the holidays, but they've had to respond to a couple water main breaks and do other essential duties while they're doing that. And they've done an excellent job, so I just want to thank you and your team, EJ. I do want to also thank our ambassadors who drive our trolleys. So the trolleys are highly susceptible to the cold weather, which severely limits how far they can go in between charges. And the cold weather also makes it pretty unpleasant to operate those trolleys. However, our team is continuing to work through the cold in an effort to keep the trolleys operating through the holiday season. So I would just like to thank them for their efforts for that. And I want to offer a heartfelt thank you to all of our volunteers out in the community. We have a lot of very dedicated people who are about as enthusiastic about Christmas as I am, and they spend a lot of their own personal time to help the city decorate and get ready for the holidays. So I do want to thank them as well. So speaking of Christmas, oh wait, I got one last time to wear this before the big day. So December 6th, Holly Jolly First Friday. So the Christmas parade, it begins at 6 p.m. at Union and St. John.
Point of order, sir.
I like that. I like it.
Wait. No kidding.
So it begins at 6 p.m. at Union and St. John. It continues down St. John, makes a right on Pennington, and ends at Santa Land near Union Avenue. The mayor and Santa will light the city's huge Christmas tree, and Santa will retire to Santa Land, where he gets to visit with all the children and their families. And speaking of Santa, the city has some connections with the big man up north, and he is a close personal friend of mine, if you didn't know. And he has agreed to spend a whole lot of time in Havre de Grace this holiday season. So in addition to Holly Jolly First Friday, Santa will be at Santa Land on the 7th from 2 to 4, the 8th from 2 to 4, the 14th from 5 to 7, the 15th from 2:30 to 4:30, and the 21st from 5 to 7. Santa will also be at the Opera House for Frozen Navidad and Holiday Tea Party with Santa and Friends on December 14th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And if you're interested in seeing Mrs. Claus this holiday season, she is able to make the trip from the North Pole for one night only. So Mrs. Claus is coming to town on December 6th to join Santa in the parade and at Santa Land. The Holly Jolly Interactive Village will be December 7th and 14th from 3 to 7, where they will have live music, a beer garden, games and activities, holiday-themed vendors, free balloon artists, carriage rides, an ice carving demo, and more. December 7th from noon to 8 p.m. is the Holiday Tree Jubilee and Craft Show. It's going to be at the gymnasium side of the Star Center, where unique and beautifully decorated trees by local groups will be available for purchase or silent auction. And there are many, many other excellent holiday activities going on throughout the city, and you can learn all about them at explorehaverdegracemd.com. And lastly, I would like to close with just wishing everyone here and at home a wonderful holiday season, and I truly hope you get to spend it with those who you love the most and make some really great memories out of it. And that concludes my comments for the evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director of Administration, Richie. Appreciate it. We're going to go to Director of Planning, Mr. Tim Boursier.
Good evening, everyone. Just quickly, we have our November permit numbers. We have 26 new construction permits that we put in last month, so we're even a bump up than what we were on a pretty strong pace. So we should end the year at a near record since 2008. We had 7 renovation and addition permits as well. Still working through a few kinks in our online system, but it seems to be working out pretty well. And we're just plugging away on that sort of stuff. We do not have a planning commission or a board of appeals meeting in December. There was nothing on the agenda. That's it for planning.
Thank you very much. And good evening, Ms. Johnson, the Director of Economic Development and Tourism.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and citizens at home. A couple of quick updates. If everyone has been listening to WXCY, the radio ads are up and playing. The signage is being printed. The Muddy Boots campaign is underway. Again, thank you, Council, for approving the budget amendment that helped pay for this marketing and promotions for the downtown during the construction cycle. This is our partnership with the Havre de Grace Chamber of Commerce, so things are moving along, and we have had a lot of great feedback from our efforts. There will be no EDAB or TAB meeting during the month of December. We are taking an opportunity to show appreciation to our many volunteers who make our jobs a lot easier. And speaking of volunteers, we have too many to count. And thank you, Lindsay, because I know you're in the audience. And she is our number one volunteer in helping and putting the holiday parade together. And we was working with her today down at the Visitor Center. So again, thank you. We have 42 groups participating in the Christmas parade this year with a total of 360 people that will be either assisting or walking with their different floats. Again, thank you to Lori Orzowitz and to Lindsay and a host of other people for putting this together. And coming back, as always, is the Clydesdale horses. We are happy to have them, and all I can say is they will be somewhere near Santa Claus. Work has started on the tent at David Craig Park. It started today. We was hoping it would be completed today, but that is not the case. So hopefully tomorrow, as soon as the tent is up, our many volunteers will be assisting us with decorating the tent. We have really great help from the merchants on Franklin Street, and I wanted to specifically mention them, as they have been helping us shop and decorate while trying to run their own brick and mortar stores. So we appreciate their assistance. EJ, we could not do this without John Allen, Tony, and Roger. John Allen really is the boss. He tells us what to do. You just have a great crew. They are building things with their own hands, signs, lamp posts, hanging lights inside of the tent. So we really appreciate their help. They will be with us pretty much all day Wednesday and Thursday, getting everything going before we have the Harford County Chamber event on Thursday evening. The horse-drawn carriages rides this year are free. Last year we did charge, I believe, $10 per family. They are free this year. We will we'll have a line, I'm sure, starting at 3:30 p.m. for sign up. It is first come, first served basis, and the rides will start at 5 o'clock p.m. on Saturday, December 7th, and Saturday, December 14th. Again, it's those will go quickly, so it is first come, first served. We'll try to service as many people as we can. And I think that concludes my comments for tonight. And again, always follow us on explorehavertygrace.com because the information is changing daily. Okay.
Thank you very much, Ms. Johnson. Appreciate the update. A lot of stuff going on this week.
A lot of
stuff to report. So, thank you. We're going to go to our Deputy Director of Finance, Mr. Abdi. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and residents of Havre de Grace. Since my last reporting of November 18th, the general fund balance has decreased $248,400. The fund balance currently stands at $8,251,800. For revenues, it's up $912,600. Revenues to date is $15,818,500. Expenditures are up $1,161,000. To date, expenditures have been $9,916,300. Respect to the Water and Sewer Fund, Fund 9, it is down since my last reporting of to $76,600. Currently, fund balance stands at $6,341,800. In terms of revenues, it's up $35,600. Revenues currently stands at $9,350,400. Expenditures are up $112,200. Expenditures to date are $4,755,400. For our last major fund, the Marina Fund, the fund balance is up $42,200 since my last reporting. The fund balance currently stands at $762,500. Revenues are up $53,200. Revenues currently stand to date $299,800. Respect to expenditures, they're up $11,000. Expenditures to date stands at $299,200. So that concludes in terms of my financial highlights for those three funds. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Any questions for Mr. Abdi? Thank you very much for the report. Good evening, Mr. Merlizer, Director of DPW.
Mayor, good evening, Council President, council members, citizens. Before I begin, I did want to comment on Mr. Place, your question earlier. We're going through an administrative agreement right now with Bully Rock. We meet with them Wednesday. We also have EMH contractors working on finalizing a report and working on basically getting us what we need for the proper bidding process so we can understand. I don't want to present a problem without being able to solve it, so can't just ask for money, you need numbers, and that's why that was delayed, so just want to comment on that. Did want to talk about tonight the EPA-led reporting requirements that went out, Route 40 improvements, and National Apprenticeship Week. So a few different items to note. Did receive some feedback from citizens about the EPA lead service line report. We have 5,929 service lines in the city. We identified 2,884 lead lines. It's approximately 40% that do not have lead, which is good. EPA is requiring us to verify the next 51% over the next 10 years with a 10% reduction. So it's mandated nationwide. You'll see it on the news. You see everyone talking about it. We request that residents go online, fill out a survey. They can do their own tests. It's pretty simple. You basically take a penny, scratch the pipe, clink the pipe. If it's a dull sound and it's not magnetic, it's usually lead. If it's metallic, if it's a pinging and a magnet sticks to it, it's galvanized. So it's pretty simple. It walks you through on the website. We just ask you to fill out the survey, and that'll help us reduce it. If you're still unsure, we offer a free service for testing for lead, which is a great thing that the water plant does, and pretty much show up at City Hall. We'll coordinate that with you. So again, we have 10 years to reduce that, 10% reduction each year. Route 40 at Martha Lewis saw some improvements. I did want to comment and thank the council for their hard work and working together with the planning department and everybody trying to get some changes done. We did see some delineators put up, some arrows to help clarify at least some traffic improvements there. Want to comment on Greenway Farms. Utilities are completed. We met with Greenway to begin construction of Phase 3 today. So that's good news. Last note, National Apprenticeship Week. Maryland Rural Water Association gave us a nice shout out and gave us a nice letter of support for the first female apprentice in the state of Maryland, which is good. Miss Jasmine Montgomery, we'd like to welcome her to the city. And the letter of support I sent to National Apprenticeship Week and Maryland Rural Water Association was to expand the program to wastewater as well. So I wanted to update everybody on the good news. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Merlizer. Any questions for EJ?
Yeah, I have one.
Councilmember Bowden.
Mayor, so,
Sure.
thank you. Is this going out in mailing, or is this available online?
So when you fill out a survey, that's the template I'm sending out, just so I don't have to do individual letters. It just provides more clarification on what our goal is as a city and how we're going to work to have a plan to reduce over the next 10 years.
And the survey is located?
You click on the website, it's at the very top of the page of the website, or if you scroll down, I think it's like the 4th or 5th bullet down.
That's excellent. No, thank you.
Absolutely. And it's a Google form. It populates. As soon as it populates, it sends me an email. I notify the resident on their email. So we've kind of streamlined it a little bit. So.
Okay, great. Thank you.
About 40 people have filled out the form, so I appreciate everybody working with us to help to reduce that. I think we have a 10% requirement, 260 to reduce this year. So.
If someone wants to contact, do they contact you directly, or they contact someone else within your department?
Come right to City Hall, coordinated, either go through Nick Muzaka or myself for the front desk, and we'll give you the sampling kit. We'll tell you first to fill out the form and do a self-test, but if people don't want to fill out the form, we'll take their information on a paper, and we'll use that to report the reduction.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Boyer.
Just want to put out an idea. You know, we have First Friday, Holly Jolly First Friday.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a good opportunity for community education on this.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's going to be a lot going on that day. You guys are going to be probably really, really busy. But I know there's a lot of other Holly Jolly events. But anything that we can do to help educate the community about what this is, This is a complex series of steps to take. And I don't think it's something that's going to be easily done.
I agree. We'll bring out the snow plows. We'll have everything laid out on snow plows, and we'll tell people about the safe routes and everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Jones?
Did you also send this via email, or is it online somewhere?
No, that's just the letter that was sent to residents that fill out the form, but I can provide that online on the website. The letters that actually went out to the residents is posted on the website. So those are for the people that filled out the form.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We'll go to Major Joe Alton. How you doing, sir? How's the police department?
Things are good, Mayor, thank you, and members of council as well, good to see you. Just real briefly this evening, a lot of talk about the holidays. It's the same time of year that we also try to remind people that as happy as we are, this is also the time that people pray, and probably with less than honorable intentions, tend to go jiggling door handles and that kind of thing of vehicles and so forth. And unfortunately, we have had one already here in the city, so we want to remind people again, please put your packages away, lock your doors of your vehicles when you go in at night, don't leave things outside, that kind of deal. And hopefully everybody will be able to enjoy the holiday season without becoming a victim, that kind of thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Major Alton? Okay, thank you very much. We're going to go to the next item of on the agenda, which is comments from the mayor's office. Just have a few tonight. I know Councilmember Jones mentioned this at the last council meeting. Havre Grace icon passed away a few weeks ago. Her name was Cammie Murphy, and I know a lot of people know this lady. And I was going to save my comments for this week because I know her viewing is at St. John's Church on Saturday. And she gave me this years ago, and I still keep it with me up here. This is the Ernest Burke statue campaign button and flyer. She lived a very long and productive life, and I've only had the pleasure of knowing Miss Murphy maybe the last 10 years of her life. So, I mean, I can't talk about all the great things she'd done when she was younger, although it's a long list of accomplishments. But I did have the privilege of seeing just how driven this young lady was when it came to something that was really on her mind. And every time we go, you know, I'll walk Tidings Park at night, and you see that beautiful statue of Ernest Burke, who was a Havre Grace native baseball player in the Negro League. That was because of her. You know, she drove that whole project and started that nonprofit organization and raised all that money, and it was quite successful. So I've read her biography many times. She was a woman of many talents, deeply involved in education, and traveled the world. And so her viewing is this weekend at St. John's Church here in Havre Grace on Union Avenue. So anyway, she'll be greatly missed. I haven't seen her in probably almost a year, so I don't know if anybody else has seen her more recently than I have. You have, I know you have, so maybe you'll say some comments. But anyway, she was a great citizen of Havre Grace, and she's going to be missed. She's going to be remembered by a lot of people, but she definitely had a legacy. It's going to last a long time. So, Cammie Murphy, Mrs. Murphy, if you're listening down, just want to let you know, we will never ever forget you and all you did for us. Thank you. And switching gears, talking about trolleys, Dr. Ritchie was right. The cold does wreak havoc on our electric trolleys. They don't last as long, but they do last a little bit. But with that said, this past weekend, with all the cold weather, we still had 100 brave souls that rode on the trolley around the city. And where they went and why they're riding on a trolley, I have no idea. Because I did pass them a couple times. I'm like that. Anyway, but more importantly were the trolley drivers that you could see driving bundled up like Eskimos and wearing blankets over their laps and stuff like that, picking up these 100 brave souls. So, we promised the merchants we would have the trolleys out dropping people off from point A to point B if that is where they wanted to go. And we will try to keep them just a little bit longer in service to help people around for the holiday season. And with that said, I also want to commend everyone that was responsible for decorating our city. I know a lot of our DPW staff was responsible. A lot of our volunteers were responsible for Santa Land. Volunteers at our visitor center were responsible. This city has a lot of lights that got put up. I mean, you go down to Concord Point Park and you look at the entire promenade that's been wrapped all the way around the point. And you look at the gazebo at Tidings Park, and then you go downtown and you see all the lampposts wrapped and you know, the big Christmas tree that's going to be lit up in front of the visitor center on Pennington Avenue this Friday night, the 6th. So this is an exciting time of year. This is definitely our second season in the city of Havre de Grace. It's become a thing now. You know, people come here because they really like to get a piece of the holiday spirit when they come to the city of Havre de Grace. And as I said at the last council meeting, our parade route is slightly altered. It's going to start at the American Legion where it normally starts, head down St. John Street, but instead of doglegging up Washington Street where the Concord Point Coffee Shop is, it's just going to keep going down St. John Street and hang right on Pennington, kind of right where Vincenti's Decoys is, and then it's going to go straight up to the visitor center. So we just didn't want to take it over Washington Street with all the construction, and we didn't want anybody, you know, injuring themselves and stepping in a hole or something like that and twisting an ankle. It's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to hurt anybody. But next year, I promise you, it's going to be different. So it's going to be really amazing next year. So we're really going to. So remember this year, as you know, this was the struggling year. You know, so where we just had to alter our map a little bit. But next year, I promise you, everything's going to be better. So listen, enjoy yourself this week. A lot of good stuff going on. Holly Jolly First Friday night, tree lighting. Please go downtown and show some love to some of our businesses. They have a lot of great sales and specials this time of year. And with that, we will see you at the next city council meeting on December 16th. And so with that, I want to go to council comments, and we're going to start with Councilmember Schneegis.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, Administration, citizens in the audience and at home. It's wonderful to be here tonight. I love hearing about Kame Murphy. She's a very special woman. I met her at St. John's Church when she was receiving the award for the Harriet Tubman Award, and in turn was giving a dedication, a tree in front of the church. I met her that day and was able to have a meal with her, and she introduced me to Stevens Island Cake, and my husband and I just, you know, became fast friends with her. And she's always been a real blessing, and always real positive, real spirited. You know, when she has something that was passionate about, she would come in and speak to us like nobody's business, and she would also make wonderful recommendations for the citizens here in Havre de Grace, and I'm going to truly miss her. She's left a big impact on our city, and I'm thankful that I've had a chance to meet her and her family. Her son, Peter Brooks, has been a tremendous blessing to our community as well. So my heart goes out to the family, and just want to say I'm thankful for having known Miss Kame Murphy. I also want to be thankful and appreciate all those people that are out there giving positive comments about the construction, things going on. They're not on Facebook bashing. They're out there doing and saying and being a part of the community and just really bringing together everything that's going on. In spite of construction, they're out there shopping or going to a restaurant or walking or inviting friends to town, and just also, you know, being polite to us as council members out in the community, and, you know, just helping with the camaraderie and spirit of building towards our future, our sustainability for what's to come in the years ahead. So thank you, citizens, and thank you again, all of our city workers and our police department, our council members, and all of the volunteers for all your hard work, pitching in for Thanksgiving, pitching in for Christmas. Our city is a city of volunteers and wonderful people. That's why I love to live here. That's why I love serving the community. And I want to say, if you have an opportunity this Holly Jolly First Fridays and the upcoming weekends, please go out to the train display located in the former Joseph's department store. It is amazing. It depicts the scenes of life that resonate with your heart, and there's even a little one that is present and shows the construction of our Havre de Grace downtown. So take your time and come on out. Look forward to seeing everybody at the parade. Have a wonderful evening. Back to you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Schneges, and good evening, Councilmember Robertson.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, fellow council members, ladies and gentlemen still here. What are y'all doing here? Don't you have anything better to do on a Monday? Anyway, it's good seeing you. It's good seeing folks actually engaged in their city government, so thank you for coming out and hanging out with us. Yeah, as the mayor had mentioned, Ms. Kamei and yeah, as Tammy and Vicky and I'm sure everybody else, but yeah, Ms. Kamei was a special somebody. I had the opportunity to meet her several years ago, I guess maybe 8, 9 years ago, right before I ran for the first time for council. And, you know, we kind of bonded because somebody told me that she was Cab Calloway's daughter, and I grew up a big fan of Cab Calloway. So, you know, I sat down and talked to her about that and talked to her about the Blues Brothers movie when that was being filmed, and she was telling me about Dan Aykroyd and Jim Belushi coming over and, you know, just hanging out in the living room and chatting with them and their conversations and the real friendship that her father had gained with them, and how like he had a revitalization in his career because of that movie, and it was really cool. But she, you know, later introduced me to the Baltimore jazz scene. She invited me down to like hang out while she was receiving one of her many awards and accolades, as she always does, or did. And I did have the opportunity to say goodbye to her the night before she passed. My mother-in-law had been helping the family with her care and everything, but yeah, she's one of those people, man. You know, one of those people in the community that just feels like a matronly figure, if that makes sense. Like, she's so strong, and you know, she would always tell you directly, like, how she felt about something or what you were doing right or wrong, and like, you always just never wanted to disappoint Miss Kamei. So she was a beautiful soul. She has 2 beautiful boys, you know, that are taking care of things now. And I just want to wish that family, you know, many blessings. If I can do half of what she did in half of the time that she was on this earth, then that will be an amazing life. Mr. Mayor, I think that's it.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Robertson. Good evening, Councilmember Boker.
Mayor Martin, citizens with us, directors, fellow council president. Can't say enough. I just want to echo the sentiments in regards to Ms. Kamei Murphy. I will tell you that I always looked at her as a Queen Elizabeth of Havre de Grace. I'm telling you, that woman was dressed to the nines. You would never catch her not dressed to the nines. So she had my full admiration, and of course I echo the same sentiment. She will certainly be, she will not soon be forgotten. I want to remind the citizens that if I don't remind you, I'll be in trouble by the chairperson of the Independence Day Commission. The Holly Jolly Jubilee preview party is actually on Thursday the 5th, and then this occurs down at the Star Center. I encourage you to go down there and get your tickets. Go online. You can actually go there and you can preview the Holly Jolly trees that are actually going to be sold on Saturday. So then the Saturday event, of course, is going to have the trees. Also, there's a craft show. There's a craft holiday tree jubilee and craft show on December the 7th at the Star Center, and they've really opened up and expanded the space there. So if you're looking for that gift or whatever the case is, you just go shopping, go hang out, come on down there and see us. So a lot going on this week, especially with the Jolly Holly. There, I made my announcement on Jolly Holly, so I'm good to go. I'll be there, dragging trees and doing all kinds of other stuff, right? So I'll go ahead and keep my remarks short rather. I just want to go ahead and thank the Susquehanna Host Company, the police department, this guy right here, for getting in all that cold water. And I know I'll be there too in January. I know, don't worry about it, or February, whichever the date comes. And all of our first responders and our guys out there with EMS. Every time you hear that whistle blow, you know that there's strong, courageous, brave women and men out there doing good things for us and keeping us safe. So that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Booker, and good evening, Councilmember Jones.
Good evening. Thank you so much. I will keep my comments short this evening. I wanted to say last week I went to visit some of the downtown businesses just to see how things were going, check in with them. So I just want to say a thank you to all those who let me in the doors and were willing to have a conversation with me about how they think things are going and what they're looking forward to. So I'll be sure to share those comments with my colleagues. But again, I want to thank all those businesses who took time to speak with me last week. I want to also say that unfortunately I'm going to miss out on this Friday's event. I'll be traveling for business, but I know it's going to be a great activity. This whole weekend things are happening, and I'm just sorry that I'm going to be able to miss it. And lastly, a happy holidays to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Jones, and good evening, Councilmember Boyer.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to start off by saying thank you to everybody who donated or was actively involved in the Havre Grace Community Thanksgiving Project. This year was a building year for us. We lost a lot of resources, but what's amazing about this community is you say, I need help, and people show up, and money showed up, and it made it so that we could pull it off. And it was beautiful all over again. We had well over 400 people on Thanksgiving Day give of their time and effort in order to help others within their community. We served meals for 1,200 people that went all the way down to Joppatown, all the way up into Cecil County, into northeast and Elkton, all the way out to Forest Hill and Bel Air. And of course, a large amount of them in the Aberdeen and Havre Grace area. People do this, people come from across the county to be a part of it because they love our community and they love the opportunity to help others on a day of Thanksgiving. We had kids who, like early middle school, all the way up to 80-plus-year-olds volunteering that day, and everybody worked together seamlessly and joyously. It's the kind of thing that if you just said you're going to have people show up, 400 people show up, and they're going to have to do this project, and you're going to have to get out a large amount of meals in like 2 hours. And you're like, absolutely no way this could possibly happen. But the way on that day, how our community just melds together and solves a problem together was just amazing. And it made me pause to think, there are so many other things that are not right in our community. If we all just took a step back, worked together, identified what the issue is and worked together and solved it, it's amazing what all we can do. Nobody was there because of any ideology or any kind of message that they wanted to send. They were there because they wanted to be a part of something to help others. And it was just a joyous and wonderful occasion. And I just send that as a message for your holiday season. Just remember that when we work together, we can achieve absolutely incredible things. And then Miss Kamei. So I met Miss Kamei when I was working for General Farrell. He was all excited because there was this lady who was going to show up, and he wanted me there to take pictures of it and to document this experience because this woman was history. He kept saying it over and over again. This woman is history. I need to document it. So she shows up, and she's this cute little lady, and I'm like, what is the history? And then he started gushing about her. He knew more about her than she could say about herself. And then when you start talking to her, and I got to know her from going to church at the Episcopal Church, but she also would sit right there in that seat, and she would come to our city council meetings and regularly. It was important for her to show up and be visible within her community because she knew that visibility is viability. And if you don't show up, then you don't have a voice. And the stories that she would tell and the people who she would just just say, oh yeah, when I sat on Thurgood Marshall's lap. You're like, wait a minute, you sat on Thurgood Marshall's lap? And then she would just tell about other people who would come to her house and just the experiences that they had, or going to Africa and setting up a school for students. She was just an amazing woman. And I know probably all of us could put our heads up and down and say, when I grow up, I want to be just like Miss Kamei. So thank you, Lord, for giving us her for just a brief moment on this earth. And you got yourself a great angel. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Boyer. And finally, we're going to go to comments from the council president.
Mr. Mayor, Council, I met Miss Kamei Murphy here. She was a wonderful woman, very fun to be around. She didn't mind hugging because I'm a hugger, but I got to say I was kind of scared I'd hurt her because I felt like a polar bear hugging a toddler. But I mean, she's just tiny. It was just fun to be around. Was so nice and was always just. She was always smiling. I was happy, and that was really cool. I mean, I got to tell you, as a politician, there's a lot of times we see people that aren't happy with us, but she always was. So she's great to be around. She'll be missed. For sports, I will say that Perryville beat out Patterson Mill in our division, and that was last week. And then this past Saturday, Perryville lost to Fort Hill, which is Cumberland. So next Saturday, Cumberland, Fort Hill will be playing Northern Garrett County for the championship, the state championship down in Annapolis. So I'm rooting for Northern Garrett. So with that, I have nothing else really to add. It's hunting season. Be safe out there. If you go hiking, just be careful. And I am going to move, Mr. Mayor, under the Open Meetings Act, General Provision, Article 3-305. I almost have this memorized. I move to go into closed session upon adjournment of the open session on Monday, December 2nd, 2024, to consider the following matter. 1, to discuss a personnel matter. This meeting will be closed under General Provisions, Article Section 3-305B1, to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this body has jurisdiction. Any other personnel matters that affect one or more specific individuals. The reason for closing this meeting is discussions concerning personnel matters are entitled to confidentiality. The City Council will not resume open session after the closed session, and votes, if any, will be recorded in public at the council meeting on December 16, 2024, and that is my motion, Mr. Mayor.
Council, I have a motion by the council president to move into closed session at the end of this council meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Booker. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to go into closed session at the conclusion of this council meeting passes 6-0 in the affirmative. Council, we're going to go to item 19, which is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Jones, second by Councilmember Boyer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to adjourn carries 6-0 in the affirmative. The time is now 8:29. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good evening. We'll see you December 16th.